Hey, did you know Amazon had a website for black businesses? That's right, blackownedamazon.com. If you're black, show you're black. Shop black. Every single product on blackownedamazon.com is from a black-owned business. And not only that, when you buy from blackownedamazon.com, Amazon will donate a portion of your total purchase to assist new black-owned businesses. So if you're black, show you're black. Shop black. blackownedamazon.com. Be sure to bookmark this website so that you never forget to shop at blackownedamazon.com.
When you believe in things that you don't understand, then you suffer. Superstition ain't the way.
Welcome to the new Atheist Experience. We are live with Kweli, Kush, and Kwame Remesu. This is the show that strives to educate, inform, and grow our community by promoting reading, critical thinking, and secular humanism as a replacement for the heavily biblical worldview that has halted the growth of our people for over 2,000 years. It is the lack of scientific literacy, logic, reasoning, and critical thinking in our community that produces a public that is more susceptible to trickery, scams, and cons. Not only does religion make one less likely to value reality, but it also produces many of the ills of our society: racism, prejudice, and various superstitious beliefs. On this show, we encourage people to question their beliefs and their origins and how religious thought patterns affect our behavior. You can listen to this show as a podcast on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. You can also watch us live on YouTube every Sunday. We also have other shows on our channel, so if you like this show, you might want to check those out as well. We have a science podcast called Shout Out Electron and an investigative podcast called N.E.W. Those links are in the description below. If you love this content, why not consider making a contribution to help us grow our platform and reach more people? Your contribution will help us pay for various monthly subscriptions and equipment costs needed to produce this content. You can make a one-time, monthly, or annual contribution directly at our website, kwelikush.com. Every dollar helps us out, so don't hesitate to show your support. If you would love to contribute but you cannot contribute financially, you can still help out the show by clicking the like button, sharing this content on your social media, or by visiting the website kwelikush.com. Your engagement helps us rank better and thus reach more people. Check the description below for all of these links. Now, for all my Bible readers out there, for all my Quran readers out there, you've been reading the same book for generations and you still have not found liberation for our people. How much better would our community be if instead of reading the same book every Sunday over and over again, we read a different book every Sunday? Imagine that. If the preacher read a different book to the congregation every Sunday instead of the same book over and over again, how much smarter would the congregation be? Well, church, at kwelikush.com, we read a different book to you every single day. For free. You don't have to read the books yourself anymore. I read them to you, and all you have to do is listen. You no longer have an excuse not to read books. Because I know a lot of y'all like to say that you don't have time or you can't sit still. Well, now you can listen to books anytime, anywhere. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on these free audiobooks. And if you don't prefer the books that I choose to read, you can get 2 free audiobooks of your choice when you sign up for a free trial with Audible. That link is also in the description, or you can go to kwelikush.com and click the audiobooks tab. So make sure you share this content on your social media and help us grow our platform and help wake these people up. And without further ado, we're going to begin the show. You are listening to the new Atheist Experience.
All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Atheist Church Live. And I am using a different setup, so let me know if y'all can hear me in the chat. Give me a little mic check, you know what I'm saying? Thumbs up or something if y'all can hear me. Somebody let me know. Everything's a go. We'll get started. Want to get a little confirmation first that I am being heard before we get started. Y'all gonna be in for a treat today. I got my boy Kweli Remesu in the building. We're gonna be doing a little bit of Bible comedy. And because it's Mother's Day, we'll be talking about the Mother of God. Hold on, can y'all hear me? Okay, so we got some confirmation. We being heard. All right, let's get to it, man. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Now that I know that I'm loud and clear, we're going to get started with the book of the day. If you're new to the show, we do this every week. Instead of reading the same book over and over, a book full of lies, we read different books. And you don't have to always agree with the books that we read. That's why we read different books every week. And we also listen to the audio book too. So, if you want to participate in our little campaign, the link is in the description. Today's book is Caesar's Messiah by Joseph Atwood. It's a very, very controversial book. A lot of people disagree on his scholarship, I guess. But I invite you to listen to the audio book and you be a judge for yourself, whether or not you think his points are valid or not. The link again is in the description, and if you choose to listen to this audio book through Audible, not only will you get this one free, but you'll get 2 free audiobooks of your choice every single month, absolutely free. And they roll over, so you don't have to use them every month. I think I'm up to like 6 books now that I need to go collect. So here we go. Caesar's Messiah, the Roman conspiracy to invent Jesus. Already make you want to pick it up. Was Jesus the invention of a Roman emperor? The author of this groundbreaking book believes he was. Caesar's Messiah reveals the key to a new and revolutionary understanding of the origin of Christianity, explaining what is the New Testament, who is the real Jesus, and how Christ's second coming is already occurred. Clues leading to these startling conclusions are found in the writings of the first century historian Flavius Josephus, whose Wars of the Jews is one of the only historical chronicles of this period. Closely comparing the work of Josephus with the New Testament Gospels, Caesar's Messiah demonstrates that Romans directed the writings of both, their purpose to offer a vision of peaceful Messiah, who would serve as an alternative to the revolutionary leaders who were rocking first century Israel and threatening Rome. Similarly, Caesar's Messiah will rock our understanding of Christian history as it reveals that Jesus was a fictional character portrayed in 4 Gospels written not by Christians but Romans. This Flavian signature edition adds Atwill's latest discoveries of numerous parallel events in sequence which ultimately reveal the identity of the true authors of the Gospel. So again, the link to this audiobook is in this video's description if you want to check it out. I encourage you to do so. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to put the number on the screen, but the number is coming. Okay, here we go. So this is a live call-in show, people. Feel free to call in. You don't have to wait till I shut my mouth to finish talking, or to wait till I finish talking to call in. You can go ahead and call in, and we're gonna see what you got to say. But anyway, anywho, let's see, where is my call screen? Oh yeah, while I get my stuff situated, I want to say a big thank you to my boy DSA1 for sending the cash app, and big thank you to 305 Juice Baby for super chatting. We super chatted $5 last time, and a super huge thank you to Danielle Ward, who sent the cash app as well. We appreciate all that. So y'all are the fuel that keeps this show going. So again, man, big thank you, man. We appreciate that. All right, y'all should be able to see my little avatar now. Had a little difficulty with my camera this week, but we're going to try to get it back on for y'all next week. Let's get started with this information. Mother of God. Who is the mother of God? Well, no, I don't really believe in God, but I know most people that listen to this show, probably Christian, fall somewhere in that Bible sect. So your mother of God is probably, in your mind, Mary. But did you know that Mary is not the only virgin that gave birth to a God? I repeat, Mary is not one of a kind. She's not the only one. And not only is she not the only one, she's not the first. Not only is she not the first, but there is more historical evidence for the other God moms than there is Mary. First, we have Alcmene. Alcmene, if you never heard of Alcmene, in Greek mythology, Alcmene was the mother of Hercules. Well, the Romans changed it to Hercules. It was originally Heracles, son of Zeus. So he was born from part God and part mother. Then we got Gerald Frigg.
Has joined.
Frigg is a queen and all mother. She is the wife of Odin and the father of Aesir, the mother of Baldur. And if you don't know who Frigg is, she's the reason why Friday is called Friday. So if you don't believe in Frigg, but you believe in Mary, I'll ask you why Mary doesn't have her own day of the week. Why is Frigg seeming more significant? Because Frigg got a day named after her. Then we got Maya. Maya is said to be the mother of the Buddha. And she supposedly had died and went to heaven, and where she supposedly lives now. So do you believe in that mother of God? Or what about the mother of Romulus, called Rhea Silvia? Gave birth to Romulus and Remus, who's said to be a god in ancient Rome. Now, if you don't believe in Romulus, but you believe in Jesus, then you got a major discrepancy on your hands, because Romulus has a lot more evidence for his existence, even though most scholars say that he didn't exist. But in the story, Romulus was a legendary founder and the first king of Rome. And the traditions attribute the establishment of many of Rome's oldest legal, political, religious, and social institutions to Romulus. You don't believe in him, then why do you follow his calendar? Oh, you probably didn't even know that you followed Romulus's calendar. The reason why the names of the months are what they are is because of Romulus. There was originally 10 months in the Roman year. All of this society that we live in is based off of the Roman calendar. And all of this is a point to all of this. So the reason why July is because it was supposed to be named after Julius, or Julius, because J didn't even exist back then. In the year that Julius Caesar was born. In September, October, November, December were just named after the numbers. November 9, December 10. Then you got February. It was named after another Roman goddess for fertility. And March is named after Martius. In January is Denarius. So we follow this calendar based off of these Roman gods that you claim you don't believe in. But your God that you do believe in doesn't have his day of the week. Thor has a day of the week. There's Thor's Day. We call it Thursday. But what about all of these other gods? There's more than that. You got Krishna, Odysseus, Odin, Dionysus, Hercules, all of these god men, Glycon, Zoroaster, all of these god men that you don't believe in. But yet they got the same, if not more, evidence for their existence as Jesus. So if you believe in Mary, why don't you believe in all of these other god moms? When there is no historical evidence or no historical records for Mary. She only exists in the New Testament, Matthew and Luke. And she was said to have 4 kids after Jesus. So where is this family? Where is this bloodline of Mary? Why doesn't it exist today? So let's go over some facts straight from Wikipedia about Mary. It says Mary was a first century Galilean Jewish woman of Nazareth, the wife of Joseph and mother of Jesus, according to the canonical Gospels and the Quran. And when you read information, no matter pretty much where you get it from, the news, the internet, YouTube, you got to be very careful in the wording and the phrasing that these people use. So here we see that they say according to the canonical Gospels. That means that's the only place. It's not according to history. It's not according to fact. They don't know this. They just read this in this book. And according to this book, these are the facts about Mary. So if Mary only exists in these canonical Gospels, Mark, Matthew, and Luke, then let's find out some stuff about Matthew and Luke. Matthew was written in AD 80. And the book does not identify its author, but the early tradition attributes it to the Apostle Matthew, which is now a notion that is rejected by modern scholars. They're saying that Matthew didn't write this. So who wrote Matthew? It wasn't Matthew. Nobody knows. And it was written in the year 80. And Luke was supposedly written in the year 85, in the 1st century. Jesus allegedly died in the year 30 in the 1st century. So you mean to tell me 50 years later, it's taking 50 years later to talk about this guy that's supposed to be the son of God and his mother? Nobody wrote about it for 50 years. Why was his mother not mentioned by anybody until 50 years after the death of Jesus? And again, Mary was not the first mother of a God claim. So why do you believe in Mary but not Maya, Almene, or Frigga, or any of the other mothers of these God men? Well, I can answer your question for you, but let's find out why it took so long for them to write about Jesus and Mary. So in order to do so, we got to do a little digging. Find out about 1st century Rome. So this is when all this is going down, allegedly according to the Bible. Jesus died in the 1st century. They started writing about it in the 1st century. So what the hell was really going on in the 1st century in Rome? The 1st century, according to the Julian calendar, is considered part of the classical era. And during this period, Europe, North Africa, and the Near East fell under increasing domination by the Roman Empire, which continued expanding, most notably conquering Britain under the Emperor Claudius in 43. The reforms introduced by Augustus, who the month August was named after, during his long reign stabilized the empire after a turmoil of the previous century's civil wars. Later in the century, the Julio-Claudian dynasty, which had been founded by Augustus, came to an end with the suicide of Nero in AD 68. There followed the famous year of 4 emperors, a brief period of civil war and instability, which was finally brought to an end by Vespasian, the 9th emperor of Rome, a founder of the Flavian dynasty. The Roman Empire generally experienced a portion of prosperity and dominance in this period, and the 1st century is remembered as a part of the empire's golden age. The 1st century was also when they saw the appearance of Christianity. So go figure. When Rome was kicking everybody's ass in the first century, that's when they invented this Christianity, okay? And they started pushing it to Northern Africa and what we now call the Middle East and to Europe. That's why I always stress that when you read the Bible, you got to do a little bit of history so you'll know what's going on. So around the time that Matthew and Luke were written, who was in control of Rome? So we just read that the Flavian dynasty in the 70s. So who were the Flavians? But before we get into the Flavians, I want to tell y'all about a little guy named Dionysus. We're going to come back to the Flavians. But the reason why Dionysus is significant, and I encourage you all to look him up, his name is Dionysus Exegesis. Dionysus lived in the 6th century. So that's in the 500s. Right? He was born in the 400s, he died in the 500s. But Dionysus is responsible for assigning the birth date of Jesus. So this guy who lived 500 years later is the reason why you believe Jesus was born in the 1st century. But in the 1st century, they made Christianity. So they had Christianity before they had Jesus. How do we know this? Because we got the Council of Nicaea that didn't take place until 325 AD. So you mean to tell me Jesus was born and lived in the 1st century, died in 30, and it took them 300 years to find out that Jesus was God? Because that's what the Council of Nicaea was all about. When they determined that Jesus, whether he was partially God or full God, all that was determined and decided in the Council of Nicaea. But Dionysus Exegesis assigned Jesus' birthday to 1 AD in his Anno Domini era, according to at least one scholar. However, most scholars think Dionysus placed the birth of Jesus in the previous year at 1 BC. Furthermore, most modern scholars do not consider Dionysus' calculations authoritative, placing the event several years earlier. So also, we got the First Council of Nicaea, which was a council of Christian bishops. If you don't know what it is, a council of a bunch of Christian bishops convened in the Bithynian city of Nicaea, which is now known as Iznik in Turkey, by the Roman Emperor Constantine in 325 AD. Then we have the council, who was the first effort to attain a consensus in the church through an assembly representing all Christendom. Hosias of Corduba may have presided over these deliberations. And the main accomplishment was settlement of the Christological issue of the divine nature of God and the Son and his relationship to the Father, and the construction of the first part of the Nicene Creed, mandating uniform observance of the date of Easter, the promulgation of early Canaan law. So if Easter was all about Jesus dying, then why do I take 300 years for them to decide that that's what it was? Because it's not about Jesus dying at all. They made it all up at the Nicene Creed. But let's get back. Let's rewind and get back to Flavius Josephus and why he's important. Now, the Flavians, they ruled Rome between 69 and 96, the same time that the Gospels of Matthew and Luke were said to have been written, the ones that mention Jesus. So who was the prominent figure in the Flavian Empire? A man named Titus Flavius. And if you research him, his life is eerily similar to that of Jesus. Certain events that take place in Titus Flavius' life are said to have taken place in Jesus' life. And it's not just Titus Flavius. They did the same thing with Julius Caesar, because the Jews were at war with the Romans. So the Romans invented this bull as a psychological weapon to get the Jews to be more accepting, and it just turned out to work very well. And they used it on other people, and that's when you had the writings of Romans, like the book of Romans coming about, where they said, okay, this religion is not just for Jews, this is for everybody, because they want to enslave everybody with it. So we got a few statements I want to share with y'all before we get to the callers from the author of today's book of the day, Caesar's Messiah, who is an independent scholar, not a Bible scholar. All right. But basically, he says Jesus had a more pacifist and cosmopolitan view of things than the Messianic movement of his day, which was very xenophobic. The Jewish perspective of the time was that it wanted the Romans out to have a religious state. How do you know this? To get an informed perspective on the Gospels, you have to read a guy named Flavius Josephus, who we mentioned earlier. He lived in Judea, wrote a history of the time and place when Jesus supposedly lived, and documented the war between the Romans and the Jews. If you read his work, you will notice that there are parallels between the events in the war and events in Jesus' ministry that occur in the same sequence. For example, Jesus says to his followers, "Follow me and you will fish for men." In the war, a Roman general says to his troops, "Don't be afraid, follow me." And then he sends them out to the Sea of Galilee, where they sink the Jewish fishing boats. The Jews try to swim to safety, and then the Romans finish them with spears, according to Flavius's account. So, what does stuff like that mean to you? To me, it seems that Flavius was the basis for Jesus' ministry. Jesus had the political perspective, and the Romans were hoping the Jews would adopt it. The Romans were also fighting with the Jews over who could be called God. The war between the Romans and the Jews is really a war to be divine, because Caesars wanted to be worshipped as gods and the Jews refused. So they created a character, Jesus Christ, to embody what they wanted in a Messiah for the Jews. What you have is called prefigurement. The character in the Gospels has all of these events in his life come from the Old Testament. The story of Jesus describes Joseph going to Egypt, the Pharaoh massacring the boys, then he returns from Egypt, gets baptized, and goes to the wilderness for 40 days and has his 3 temptations. In the Old Testament, in Genesis, Joseph goes to Egypt, the Pharaoh massacres the boys, then he returns from Egypt to Israel, where there's a baptism. Then he goes into the wilderness for 40 years. When you see the pattern, it all is obvious that it is fiction. Then you have the story called the Cannibal Mary, which is a famous passage from Josephus. It contains an allegory about Jesus Christ, but to understand it, you have to go through some analysis. According to the New Testament, Jesus is the human Passover lamb. And in the passage of the Cannibal Mary, they sat at the human Passover lamb, or they stated that the human Passover lamb is a myth for the world, whose killing is going to be seen as an atrocity by Gentiles that will create a bitter hatred against the Jews. Is a clear-cut description of the invention and intent of Christianity, which was a curse the Romans put on the Jews for their constant rebellion. It's a confession, really. The authors would have been the Jewish intellectuals and the Roman Caesars. The Romans had the top Jewish intellectuals in the world. The Romans had the top intellectuals in the world on their payroll. All the disciples' accounts are fake, and all the names are fake. Pope is another title for Caesar. The Vatican is located where the Caesars had their palace. The important thing is that you have to have some sort of explanation for who the Son of Man is. People say that it's Jesus, and he's talking about himself. But the problem is, he doesn't come back after the war when he makes these pronouncements. There would have been some record of it. So the only candidate for this comeback after the war is the Roman Caesar. At the end of the war, Titus Flavius tried to get the Jews to call him God. At that time, Titus was known as the Son of God. That title was written on his sacred art in Rome. What they wanted the Jews to think is that the Son of a Man guy that Jesus was predicting was actually Caesar. It just never caught on. Jesus is a fictional character. If some guy had a duck living next door to him whose name was Donald, and then he invented the character Donald Duck, is that guy a historian? Well, not when he says the duck is talking. There are all sorts of individuals who could have come and been a Jesus Christ. But the actual historicity of the Christ, whoever he was, wasn't a passive cosmopolitan guy. He was a kick-ass Jewish Messiah, warrior who wanted to drive out the Romans. The guy we read about, however, is a prefigurement, a fictional character, and despite popular belief, the Son of Man who is predicted is the Roman Caesar Titus Flavius. Well, now is the time to call in, people. I don't know who was in. They chickened out, I guess. I took too long to answer the phone. But call back. Let's see what we got going on in the world of the Atheist Church today. North Carolina pastor arrested for uploading graphic sexual content involving a child. I swear, man, this is like every other day. It's a pastor getting arrested, and it's usually for some like sexual offense. Usually, shit is crazy. Dylan, where you at, bro? You said you was gonna call in. Don't be scared now. T. Elliott Welch, Liberty University graduate, has resigned in the wake of his arrest. People always resign when they get caught. Always, yeah, I never have a shortage of pastors to expose. They're always doing something. The Oregon church is getting sued over COVID restrictions because 74 members of the church have caught the coronavirus. Well, dang. 74. I wonder how big the church is. It probably, if it's a small church, that's crazy. 74 members of the church. And they say a church is one of the main super spreaders of the virus. Y'all supposed to be protected by the blood of the lamb, right? How y'all getting that shit? Boy, y'all getting that shit. Ooh-wee. Texas governor lost his attempt to block an atheist holiday display in the state capital. He better have lost it. Oh, Lord. Christian politician with conservative values caught selling sex in his home massage parlor. Told y'all that's all they do. Dylan, where you at, bro? Call it in. I want to know why you believe in Mary, but you don't believe in Frigg or Alcmene or Maya or Rhea Sylvia Or you believe in Jesus, but you don't believe in Romulus. All it ain't. Where is what's his name? Catholic traditionalist. Yeah, that's his name. Y'all be playing, man. Said it was gonna call in. He was in the chat. Now he disappeared. These Christians, they still saying that Trump's gonna be the president, y'all. They still believe that. Say he's gonna come back to power in April. So it's May. Says most first century Jewish women got little notice in historical accounts. Oh, this is them trying to explain why there's no historicity for Mary. Okay, they say one Jewish woman, Virgin Mary, who allegedly lived in the first century, is remembered in the New Testament for her obedience to God. Yet no historical account answers the essential question, did Mary, the mother of Jesus, really exist? The only record is the New Testament and the Christian Bible, which says that Mary was betrothed to Joseph, a carpenter in Nazareth, small town in Galilee, region of Judea, when she conceived Jesus through the action of God's Holy Spirit. So basically, $2,000 years ago, teenage girl went to her soon-to-be husband and told him she was pregnant by the Holy Spirit. And instead of thinking that this girl is lying and she been fucking, everybody said, yeah, she's right. She's been impregnated by the Holy Spirit. Even though this is not the first time this story like this has happened. Mind you, is it supposedly taking place in the first century when Rome was the superpower of the world. And they had their own myth about a god-man who was birthed of a virgin, Rhea Silvia. His name is Romulus. Y'all believe in this Virgin Mary, who was the Jewish. They had a prophecy that some Messiah was going to come. The Romans wanted the Jews to think that their Messiah was Caesar, but the Jews just didn't believe it. So they made up this Jesus character. Convinced the Jews to believe. Peace and black power. Yo. Yo, Kwame, I can't really hear you. I'm not sure if you was talking or not. I'm gonna unmute you again, man. You sound like you got a lot of noise in the background. Say something, bro.
Yo, can you hear me?
I get you now.
Yo, what's up, man? What's up, man? It's been a hectic day, man. I thought I was gonna be on time so I could do the Bible comedy album, man. Then I got called in to work, man. So it's been pretty hectic for me. How everybody doing out there in YouTube? So, but yeah, I was gonna read the book of Genesis.
I'm saying I had Dylan was in the chat last night. He was supposed to call in, but I don't know where he went. He skated.
You said you had Dylan, who?
This guy named Dylan was in the chat last night. He said he was gonna call in, but I guess he skated out.
Oh, okay, Christian.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we got these pagan holidays, Mother's Day, Easter, Father's Day. What do these days all mean? Like, it just something? Is it like a commercialized thing dealing with? I mean, a lot of people don't even know the origins of it. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not trying to throw any kind of insults at mothers or fathers. It's just the fact that what is these days for? One day out of the year, you appreciate your mama when you're supposed to appreciate her every day. What kind of shit is that? But Christians,
it's just commercial, man.
Yeah, it's all commercial, and they be having these things at these churches, like these.
Yo, I can't hear you, bro.
Right in the middle of the show. Hello?
Bro, yo, okay, I can hear you now.
Yo.
What you saying, though? I can hear you. Can you hear me? All right. I'm going to let him get his sound together. Not really sure what he does. Yeah, well, yeah, man. These commercial holidays, that's all it's about. All it's about. Getting that money. Sell so many cards and flowers and all that stuff on these days, man. That make no sense. Why, if you do celebrate these commercial holidays, it's best to do it without spending no money. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go spend some time with your mother, that's cool. I'd rather you make her a card because, I mean, unless you want to, buy a Mother's Day card from one of those black-owned businesses, but most people, they just bolster up the big corporations that already exist, like Hallmark and American Greetings. They just make millions of dollars on these holidays, and they don't put none back in your community. But that's why we talk about this stuff on these shows, man. See what else we got going on out here in these atheist streets. Despite faith-based porn filter, Josh Duggar had 200 illicit images of kids. Former evangelical TV star will be allowed to live with another family until his trial. Wow. Told you, man, never a shortage of preachers out here doing fucked up shit. Tony Perkins says Christians are trying to take over the world. Well, duh. I'm surprised he admitted it, though. Tony Perkins. Call it in, folks. The number is on the bottom of the screen, the call-in number. And you can go to the description. You can even join from your computer if you want to share your screen. Use your phone if you got a smartphone. Number 717-275-8940. 717-275-8940. Call me now. Get your free reading. one pastor says, it's not a real sermon unless you can smell the pastor's body odor. So what the hell that's supposed to mean? One more reason not to go to church. Nobody want to smell your body odor. Oh Lord, man, it look like they still doing this National Day of Prayer shit. I bet y'all do a National Day of actually helping people with a National Day of Prayer. What is that gonna do? Nothing. National Day, everybody talk to themselves. Christian lawmaker in Kansas got arrested for kicking a child. He's still in office. Oh. New technology that allows paralyzed people to communicate with their minds. A brain-computer interface allows people with paralysis to directly operate off-the-shelf tablet device just by thinking. Steve the Theorist, what's going on, big bro?
What up, big dog?
Has joined.
Not much, man. What's cracking down there?
Ain't nothing to it, man. Let's see, let me call in. I ain't called in a minute. Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. It's always good to hear from you. Glad somebody called in, man. We had dude said he was gonna call in, but now he don't want to call in. I guess he had to go to bed past his bedtime or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I see you slid out the chat.
Yeah, they good for that, man.
Oh yeah, I love the topic you got up tonight. That Mother of God.
Yeah, man. What you think about the fact that, you know, Mary, not only was she not the only one, but she was so young, and there's no real proof of it other than the Bible.
Yeah, that shit crazy, man. That Immaculate Conception shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't even see what you even supposed to take, what you're supposed to take from that as a man, you know, like how can you what can you relate that to in this day and age that's good, that she popped up pregnant out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And then, like you say too, there's so many different stories of it. It's a carbon copy.
Yeah, man. And then she don't got no statues, and there's no statues of her. But these other God people, they got statues and all. They got days named after them. We got Friday named after Frigga, Thursday named after Thor. But people want to believe in these Roman gods, but I think it's because of the Romans just happened to win the war, back then. So their religion was the one that got forced onto the people, and that's the one that got passed down. It's just sad that it's still working on the minds of the people.
What's that saying? It's a saying. I think it's a saying where they say the stories are told by the conquerors. Whoever conquers.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't remember the exact wording of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. Just like here in America. You know what I'm saying? Once you get stripped of your name, how they did us. You know what I'm saying? Right, enslave you and strip you of your name. Rap. Same with that. I was tripping out too, man, with that story of Mary too, man. How God made, how he forced Joseph to even accept the shit. You know what I'm saying? force them to accept that shit.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? You gonna accept this child now. Knowing you ain't get up pregnant. Shit, that's some crazy shit, man.
I mean, to me, it just screams of fiction, because you know I don't see that shit happening. You know what I mean? Ain't no way you finna tell me we just got married and you pregnant and I ain't touched you,
Right.
and I'm just supposed to raise this child. What?
Right. And what am I supposed to take from that story? Is it supposed to be lessons, life lessons I'm supposed to be taking from this so-called good book? What good lesson do I take from that?
And I want to know why. Like, if that's the case, if I was a woman, that would be my first go-to lie. If I popped up pregnant,
right?
I'd be like, this immaculate conception right here. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I was divinely impregnated.
But the reason why women don't do that shit, because they know damn well ain't nobody finna believe that shit. But for some reason, when it's in this religion, they believe it. Like I can't wrap my head around this shit, bro.
Right. I like to always take it back to when to that, like you in Genesis where the angels came down and slept with the women. If they were giant, if they offsprings were giant, then why the hell Jesus wasn't a giant? He should have been the biggest bitch on the planet if he come out of God's sight. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's also said that too that they created men of renown. So I guess Jesus might fall under a man of renown because he's supposed to have been able to, I guess because he was able to do some shit, you know, supposed to have been doing all that heating and walking on water and shit. But, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't no, you know, if they created hybrid men, giants, if the angels did that, then he should have been a big, you know what I mean?
I mean, I would think that he would still be around. I wouldn't see no point in God's son coming to earth for a limited time and then, you know what I'm saying, disappearing and having so many human qualities. Like, that just makes no sense. Saying I'm an all-powerful God, but I'm limiting myself to being a man.
Right. And he didn't create him like he did Adam. Why would you if we are supposedly his creation, and then my creation would be, if I'm created in his image and we are his creation, then my creation would be my child. You know what I'm saying? Why would that would be incest if I was to impregnate my child? You know what I'm saying? My creation. So you put a seed instead of you taking from the dust like you claim he did in Genesis. Instead, you impregnated one of your own creations.
Right, that's a good point, man. He could have just made Jesus like he made Adam.
Right. Crazy, man.
But you gonna rape this 12-year-old girl instead.
Right. Crazy, man. And we accept the story and love it. Celebrate it. And wonder why, like we was pouring out earlier, you know what I'm saying? Every time you turn around these guys into some sexual shit. Because, I mean, they skip around them different parts in the Bible that's in Deuteronomy about that rape and being able to take them young girls, you know what I'm saying, at any age, you know what I'm saying? Because it's skewed enough. They like to skip and jump around and make it good for whatever they want it to be. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, that's just what they do. That's just like a fat preacher. He ain't gonna be talking about no gluttony and shit. He eating up everything. You know what I'm saying? They ain't supposed to be doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? But they just make it good for whatever. They're like, you know, the preacher that smoke cigarettes. He ain't gonna be talking about no, your body is a temple and shit. Cause he, you know what I'm saying? You know, some other shit. Right. You know?
The Christian church, man, that's good for finding some hypocrites. That's all y'all see in that motherfucker.
That's it, man. And we love it. Can't wait to get back in there. COVID and everything on. I'm just trying to get back in there.
Yeah, man.
Like
I wanna hear what some people got to say about the book of the day, though, man. I encourage some people to check that out because it's a kind of a controversial topic in the I guess the atheist community or whatever. A lot of you got, like even the atheists, some atheists don't agree with the book. But I don't know. I think it's very interesting. You know what I mean? They talk about this guy Titus Flavius and how he pretty much made Jesus up after his likeness and all that stuff. But yeah, man, it's a good read, good listen to. I encourage everybody to check that shit out.
Right. It kind of does.
It blew my mind.
Going to him being some rappers.
No, you don't talk about that too much. You just pretty much talk about the Flavians and Flavius Josephus and Julius Caesar.
Yeah, I was listening to you talk about it earlier. I got to get that. I got to get ebook, man, so I can be listening in, man. I'll be so busy, man. I rarely get a chance to go out, sit down and grab a book. I can listen while I be at work, you know what I'm saying? And my job pretty easy, put leads up, man.
Yeah, I usually listen to them like when I lay down to go to sleep. So, you know what I'm saying? When I just be laying there, right before you fall asleep, you get a couple chapters in. And then, you know, after a couple weeks go by, you don't listen to the whole book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that you put them up there too, man. I got to get on. That's one thing too. In debate, a lot of people like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially with, I credit myself for being a street scholar, a Google king, a Wikipedia genius. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, you know what I mean. But it's becoming a big argument I've been seeing in different debates on whether or not you have books. But every time they putting up slides, everything they got come off the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then with the way information changed anyway, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The book gonna get antiquated anyway. How they put out information these days and how it be changing. So really, if you buying it, you really just buying them to collect them at this point.
Yeah, that's true. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be telling folks, like, this is technology is changing everything. You know what I mean? So I take full advantage of it.
Right.
I take full advantage of it. I'm on the audio books. I'm using the Kindle and all that stuff. Like,
right.
I want to walk around with a bunch of books.
Right.
Or have a big ass library. You know what I mean?
That books are bad or none of that. But just, you know, on the physical aspect of toting around, just like with the music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The CDs, yeah. You don't want to have no bunch of CDs no more.
Right. But I got it on with it.
Yeah.
Got it, USB. You know what I mean? So have to change with the time. Just like it be saying with information, but it's just crazy that you know I've been hearing that a lot. You know what I'm saying about books and this and that. You know what I'm saying? And being a scholar, and you know what I mean. Instead of just waking up and knowing what's real and what's fake from the video. Like you saying,
yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, it really don't matter if you get your information from a book or from the internet. What matters is how you vet the information, because anybody can write a book about anything, just like anybody can write an article and put it on the internet or anything. Just because it's in a book don't mean that it's true. Just because it's on the internet don't mean that it's not true. You know what I mean? So you just got to know how to tell the difference between good information and bad information, and how to vet that shit. And like, if you got two opposing people, like about the Caesar's Messiah book, if you got one dude over here saying it's valid and one dude saying it's not valid, then you got to hear both points of view and see who's making the better points, and then you come to your own conclusion based off of based on all the data. You know what I mean? What we've been taught to do in the church and growing up in the belief system is to just listen to this, and anybody saying anything different, they working with the devil. You got to stay away from them. Right. So you just get that one. That's that confirmation bias, where you just want to hear shit that you already agree with, But that ain't how it works.
Yep, you said it. Yeah, man. I think it got to do with the conditioning, man. The way we've been brought up, especially down south. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to break that. It's hard to break that indoctrination of the way you've been raised, man. Especially with the hell, the heaven hell still fight the shit. You know what I'm saying? But you can't shake it, man. You can't shake it.
Some folk can't, man, but it just it wasn't hard for me to shake the hell thing. I don't think I never really believed it. You know what I mean? Like past being like 13 or 14. Once I asked myself, like, why would God punish somebody for eternity for anything? Just a temporal thing. It don't really matter.
It don't make no sense, man. It don't make no sense. Because why would if the devil is supposed to be the great deceiver and hell is his domain, and that's where you supposed to go if you so called and make it into heaven, then that means that he working for God. And you think, I mean, like, if he could trust him in heaven, if you know what I'm saying, he could trust him in heaven, what make you think he gonna torture people in hell for if he told him to
Has joined.
Good point. DSA, bro, what's good with you?
Not much, man. What's going on?
What up, DSA?
What up, Steve?
Ain't nothing to it, baby.
Yeah.
What's up, man? What you think about this mother of God and the fact that the people still they believe in Mary, but they don't believe in Frigga or Almene or Maya, the mother of Buddha, or Romulus, and none of that? Because me personally, I had never even heard of none of these other people until I started getting into well after I was not a Christian no more. You know what I'm saying? While I was a Christian, I had never heard of none of these people.
You know what's crazy? I heard of Romulus off of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like, real talk.
Yeah, I never seen Star Trek. What they say about Romulus?
I think it's a planet called Romulus, and it's another planet called Remus, and they're
whoa, that's crazy.
They're Dr. Spock's people, not Cleon. They're I forgot what his people are called, but that's what they're called. I mean, that's the name of the planet. Yeah, one of them's called Romulus, and I think the other one's called Remus.
Yeah, that's crazy, because that's the Roman gods. You know, they was brothers, Romulus and Remus. So I guess they would be like the equivalents of like Horus and Set. You know what I'm saying? The same myths that get regurgitated, or in the Bible, this Cain and Abel.
Yeah, D. Phillips, Romulus 9. Yo, somebody put it in the chat. D. Phillips said Romulus 9. I'm like, yep, that's the name of it.
Yeah. No, Spock was a
Vulcan, yep, that's what he was, a Vulcan. Yep. Yo, Steve, to speak on what you were talking about earlier, it's a anime called Attack on Titan. And the crazy thing about it is how you were speaking about the angels having sex with the humans, and they had children called Nephilim. In the anime, it's people that turn into giants, and they're killing the regular people.
Wow. That's crazy. How they get depicted in movies and shit, and cartoons and shit. That shit crazy.
Dude, I figured out a lot of things just by watching movies and anime, man. That's why I watch TV, because I'm seeing the stuff that people are talking about or not really trying to talk about, and they put it right in the movies or right in the anime.
Right, it's subliminal messages.
Yeah, if you watch anime, you will catch a lot of that stuff in there.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't watch anime. I mean, a lot of folks, I say black people, they coming out saying that they watch it now, but at the point in time when I was watching it when I was younger, I was catching a lot of that stuff, but I didn't understand it.
Okay.
So now that I'm old enough to
y'all up on the American Gods.
man, I've been trying to catch it and I keep messing up and not watching it. I heard that's pretty good too.
Yo, that whoever direct that and write that, they on the next level. They on another level with that shit.
What it
Yo. I think it came on TNT at one point.
TNT?
Yo, you know another show that came on TNT that was speaking a lot of stuff was Supernatural.
I ain't never catch that one. I seen.
Dude, you gotta watch it from the beginning all the way to the end. It's like 10, 15 seasons. But when you start watching it, it starts speaking on some of that stuff. The main season that's really gonna get you caught up in it is when they start talking to the angels and the demons and stuff. Dude, they show the war that's going on with the angels and demons. They show Pandora's box. They show Lilith. They show all that stuff.
Okay, yeah, that kind of like how American Gods is, man. Yeah, that's dope. I gotta check it.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you about this one part of the season where Satan comes back. Well, Lucifer comes back. He take over one of the dudes' brother. They had a third brother. You got the two brothers named Sam and Dean. They're called hunters. They go out and kill vampires, gargoyles, demons, all the stuff that you would hear that people say called bumping the night, like the monsters and stuff. That's their job. They go out and kill the monsters and keep it from becoming a regular thing that people actually see. So during this season, Satan comes back, but he takes over this dude's body. And the thing about it, the angels came down and told Sam and Dean, was like, look, y'all are like built to be the vessel for Michael and Satan for them to have this final battle or whatnot. So they was trying to figure out a way to get out of it. Kind of find out they got a third brother, a little brother. So Satan, Michael, they get ready to have a fight, but they end up pulling the middle brother, which is Sam, into, I guess you could say, purgatory. And while they was in pulled his soul into purgatory so they could trap him. So Michael and Satan wouldn't destroy the earth, because you know how they say how strong angels and demons are. Well, I guess you could still consider Lucifer an angel, because he's not technically a demon as far as the biblical word goes. So they end up tricking them or getting them to fall into purgatory, but they end up getting Sam's soul back. So when they got Sam's soul back, his soul was so jacked up from being in between both of them fighting so much. They had to mentally lock his mind off, because he would have went insane remembering what had happened to him. Dude, that man, Supernatural's deep. Supernatural is real deep.
I had watched a documentary on Aleister Crowley. Y'all familiar with that?
Yeah, the dude that came up with the Satanist book, the occult book, As Above, So Below.
And I think I got a different understanding of what we think is magic, or when we say magic, or what I just think is magic ain't magic. What they be talking about magic.
Nah, bro, they on a whole other level with this shit.
The rabbit out the hat, you know what I'm saying? All that old bullshit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro, they magic.
Talk about the
on sorcery.
Right.
Yeah, like sorcery.
Right.
Yeah.
I did check out that one show y'all put me on Amazon that what about the black family who moved into the white neighborhood. I had
them.
Watched the whole shit.
You talking about them?
Them. Yeah, that's it. Them. But I like the way they put the it wasn't just about racism, you know what I'm saying? They kind of made it into a horror too, because at first I thought it was a sequel to Us, the movie.
Yeah,
you know
it comes off like that.
But it ain't got nothing to do with it, you know. But it's crazy though, the way they made, like, instead of it just being about them moving into a white neighborhood and the white people trying to basically kill them or run them out. It was the ghost factor that was into it too, the horror shit, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like the little girl, she was saying she saw this ghost or whatever, and her father didn't believe her and all this shit. But she was telling the truth, you know what I'm saying? They didn't know she was telling the truth until, you know, the ghost started actually hurting her and all that shit.
Yeah.
But all the while the ghost was the spirits of like the
people that lived in the house before them.
Yeah, the people that came before them, and they were trying to like warn them, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get the fuck on, basically. So, but the shit was crazy. And the very last episode, the shit that stuck with me was just that image of I don't know who the fuck, like who the people is that work on this show, but whoever the writer is or the director, whoever was in charge of that last scene, they said so much shit because what it was the family was standing there. They was covered in blood because they had tried to kill them and shit. Yeah, the little girl had to save her father. She killed the dude with an axe and all that shit. And it was like 100 or 200 white people, and the police was pointing guns at them. And it was just like a black man, his wife, and their 2 daughters. And white America aiming their guns at them. And it was just like a symbolic imagery.
Yeah.
What it's like to be black in America at the end of that shit, man. But it was crazy though. And I say all that just because I don't really watch TV at all, you know what I mean? But when I do, if I do, it's got to be, you know, it's going to be something good because I don't get into nothing. But I was into that shit though.
Yeah, dealing bad.
Mm-hmm. Let's get some shit out here, man.
Dylan, you
Yo, but if y'all,
now, man.
Hey, if y'all watch like anime, man, watch some of that stuff, man, and just pay attention to the symbology in it. Because a lot of that stuff be talking about a lot of things that people really ain't even trying to get on. Right. Like it be certain ones that I watch. It's only like a specific genre of it that I watch. And those that I'm watching, I'm like, they talking about a lot of stuff. They putting people on, and they literally, like certain ones, they use historical things, or they use biblical things to play out the plot in the anime. And that should be so deep.
Yeah. I watched some funny shit on American Dad Family Guy. It was declining on the other night, man. I'm all crazy. They decline. But they
They talking about religion?
A lot of them.
They were talking about religion?
Yeah, man. That shit was crazy, man. But I think a lot of people becoming a little more open and opening their minds up to like and seeing, like, you know what I'm saying, the kind of mind state you got to be in to really believe in this bullshit, man.
Hey, Steve, if you look,
I was gonna say most people don't not believe in that shit. It's just like certain communities, and one of them happen to be the black community where that shit is just so prevalent.
Yeah. I watched Jesse Lee Patterson get a, y'all know watch Jesse Lee Patterson, man.
man, bump that dude.
Cool, man, nigga.
Hey, that nigga them fool, man. That nigga them fool. But I watched him and this chick. You got to check him out. And this creature chick that was on there, and she couldn't take. The women pastors can't take that. You know what I'm saying? There's verses in there telling them they can't preach. Most of the old school cats gonna be like, you can't preach. You know what I'm saying? And she got hot, but it's just wild to see them. You know what I'm saying? It's in the same book, had the same book, most of the same beliefs, and still can't get on the same accord. You know what I mean? But it's supposed to be the good.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a Christian. You invite a Christian pastors on you got a show where you invite Christian pastors on your show, and they walk off damn near every time.
Right.
Like, fuck you, man.
I was like, yo. It's crazy.
That's crazy. That'd be like me having an atheist show and all the atheists come on here and then we don't never go get along. We don't agree on shit.
Or agree, right?
Like what the fuck? That's crazy. That's their religion, man. But yeah, man. That Justin Lee Peterson dude. At first, I was wondering like how the fuck he gets such a big platform talking this crazy ass shit. But I didn't realize how long he been doing this shit. Like that nigga been doing this shit before I was born.
Yeah,
but not only that, but you got to see the group of people he talking to.
Yeah.
That ain't for us. That's for them.
Whoever behind it, the machine that's behind him on that phone, he's doing the falling state. Now that's a mean machine he got behind it because it's edited good. I mean, the platform good enough on it. Everybody already be knowing before you go on there what it is. See, it can't happen.
Yeah, exactly. You know who got a good show though? It's a nigga named damn. Oh fuck, I can't remember that nigga name now. They come on Adult Swim, man.
Eric Andre.
Dude.
Eric Andre, that crazy man.
Eric Andre. Yeah, that nigga right there, bro. But I figure like most people, like on some level, they don't believe that shit. But I think like when it comes to the fear aspect, that's when they profess their belief. They say, "Oh yeah, I believe it and shit," because it's kind of like that Pascal's wager. They think that's a good
right
way. They think they're gonna trick God or whatever. But they don't really believe that shit, man. But I used to watch South Park and shit like that when I was a kid, and they used to, like, if y'all seen the episode of South Park where they roasted God and they showed God as like a monster, and man, I was upset. I was like, how they gonna make God look like that? Like, how they gonna make God look like that? And then like, but South Park used to be one of my favorite shows. So I had to realize that, you know what I'm saying? How can I say God don't look like that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck God do look like. You know what I mean? So that might be what God look like for all I know.
That's what tripped me out about women, and they supposed to be so liberated, but yet they always refer to God as a man. They supposed to be so enslaved and liberated, and they always referring to him as a man.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm glad you said that because I meant to bring that shit up earlier, man, with the mother of God shit. Like
I was about to speak on that.
How you gonna have a God with no mother as a creator? You got a father.
Exactly, because I was like, when you was first getting ready to ask me that, I was just about to say that. If you look at the Holy Trinity, it's Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Right.
There is no mother in there.
Oh well.
So like, how do you? And the crazy thing about it is like, how do you use that? And you know, men can't have children, but you exclude the women, and it's okay. And in other religions or spiritual beliefs, the woman is included. Like, let's say the Hindu have female god. One of the female gods that I remember is Shiva. She's the god of destruction. She's a female. And I think they also have a male god that's a god of destruction, but I don't know his name. I don't know Hindu religion like that, so I'm not gonna sit up there and say they do or they don't. I just remember that one. And it's like people sit up here and be like, "Oh, I believe in the Holy Trinity." I'm like, the Holy Trinity is excluding you when we can, as Kweli Kush will say, we can look at science and say the majority of animals come from a female. How do you exclude the female in your religious belief? Because without the female, you're not born. And also without the male to implant the seed into the woman, you're not born. So you gotta have both, because without either one, you can't be born.
It's called chauvinism at its earliest form. You know what I'm saying? They're like, he cursed her. Tell her she go, hey, since you ate from the tree of knowledge of good and bad, you gonna feel pain. I'm gonna make you feel these pains in childbirth now. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? And the crazy part about that whole myth is the fact that God, in the story, in the myth, God didn't even give the instruction to the woman. He gave the instructions to Adam.
Right. Exactly.
She didn't even know. She didn't know she didn't know what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? All she was doing was living life. Cause she didn't know, she didn't even know she was naked according to the Bible. She didn't know she.
They got to eat the tree first. They got to know what knowledge is good and bad is before they eat. You know what I'm saying? They know what the punishment is.
Yo, hey y'all
I'm so glad that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas is woke. Go ahead, DSA.
No, I was just gonna say something right quick. You know the part that really irks me with really strong Christian people is how they sit up here and get mad at the woman or be like, well, it was Adam's fault that he followed what the woman had said, or it was the woman's fault because she listened to the serpent. I'm like, if you think about it, what did God say after they ate from the tree of good and evil? He was like, oh, now they're going to have knowledge like us. He didn't want you to have knowledge to begin with. So then folks like, oh, well, everybody got free choice. If you give a machine a program, but you don't put the parameters in the machine for it to do a specific thing, it's going to do whatever. It's going to either tear up your house or clean it up real good or just do whatever the program is because you didn't put in anything to safeguard it. So then when somebody comes up with another code and put it into the machine, you're now mad at the machine for doing something that you didn't program it to do. But at the same time, it's not doing nothing wrong. It didn't break your windows. It actually cleans your windows better than what they were supposed to be clean. It actually took the trash out ahead of time than the time that you told it to do. It was doing its job a little better than what you wanted it to, but you're mad at the machine because you failed to put the programming in. That makes no sense to me. Like, I don't understand it. Like, how did you get mad?
On top of that, he's supposed to be all-knowing, so he knew that it was going to happen anyway.
Exactly, and you still upset.
That's why he divinely inspired of somebody that he regretted making man.
And nobody talks about that either. The only person that I know of that brought it up before I realized what he was really on was Polite. Polite brought that up. He was like, how do y'all pray to a God that regret making you?
Making man.
And the Hebrew Israelites couldn't even say that. They kept going back to Deuteronomy. I remember that part of that debate that he had on the street with them. It was on Sunday TV when I first started coming into this stuff and I was trying to figure things out. I used to watch Sunday TV just for the debates because the debates, it was dropping knowledge on both sides. So I'm literally listening to both sides. But then when I started seeing Sarnetta start doing some snake type stuff, then I seen Polite doing some snake type stuff, then I started seeing Young Pharaoh doing some snake type stuff. I'm like, all y'all do is a bunch of snakes, man. Y'all spit this good knowledge to people, get them to donate to you, and then you turn around and stab each other in the back and you stab the people in the back. I'm like, y'all dropping good information, but I can't ride with that, man. That's just another way for you to get in on the people and do them dirty because they hungry. They want the truth. So you give them bits and pieces of the truth. As you're doing it, you taking money from them, and then you make up an excuse why you can't do what you said you was going to do. Prime example. Sarnetta was asking folks to donate to him. Say what now?
I thought you were going to say Umar.
No, Umar.
Too, but I wanted to ask you what Sarnetta did, though, because I knew about Polite and YP, but I ain't know Sarnetta did no snake shit, though. What Sarnetta do?
Man, I'm gonna tell you about it. All right, it was back, I want to say, like 2010, between 2010 and 2012. The videos are probably still up. Not Polite, but Young Pharaoh and Sarah Suit said he was supposed to do a debate on against the Dagger Squad. Sarnetta tried to give them some information, like a contract, saying that he gets to take part or take all of their intellectual property before during the debate or whatnot. And then he wasn't really gonna pay him that much. Young Pharaoh broke the whole thing down. He was like, "You gonna get, let's say, 10,000 off the door, but you only gonna pay us 1,000." Like, come on, man, you trying to jip us out of money and take our property and make money off our property and we don't get nothing out of it? He was like, no, I ain't gonna do that. So they fell out over that. And then in the process of it, like a couple months after that or before that, somewhere in that time frame, he was asking people to donate some money to him so he can get a van so he can drive around and do the do the stuff on the street corner. He was trying to get money for that. He ended up getting money for it, but he never bought the van. So what he turned around and did was he got mad at Polite for getting more money on an event that he had did. So him and Polite fell out. I'm like, you falling out with all these people you so-called put on. So then it ended up getting back cool. So Polite started going around talking about how he getting, like, he cool with what's the basketball player that was with the Lakers that changed Middle World Peace? He chilling with Middle World Peace with all the money that people are donating to him, and he ain't even sending people their proper information. Like, Kweli, say you buy a book from him about, let's just say aliens. Let's just use that as an example. You buy a book from Polite about some aliens, like who really built the pyramid, what your DNA really made up of. He'll send you the book. The book has no table of content, no places where he got his sources from. And then if you might get that book. Then again, you might even get the book. So you getting in contact with him trying to get the information, and he don't even call you back, ignoring your calls, blocking your numbers and everything. Dude, it was so many people that came out getting at him about that. I was like, come on, man. You got intelligence to fool people with the word salad to get people to not fall for it, but go along with what you're saying so they donate to you because they want to see you do good, but you ain't even doing good. Like, I can't even, I can't walk with that. But man, that guy had me so upset, bro.
That nigga fall like,
I just know, like,
hey, go ahead.
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, now my partner deal with Polite a little bit, man. I fuck with Polite a long way too. I ain't never dealt with him like with no finances about none of that shit, but you know what I'm saying? I've been listening to him for a long time, but my homeboy fuck with him, you know what I'm saying? That nigga Polite swift with them stocks now.
Boy, he good at telling you he gonna help you get a property, and the property belong to somebody else.
I'm talking about for real now. I'm talking about for real now. I'm talking about for real. You gotta go check that. Hey, I just started fucking with the stocks. You know what I'm saying? And when I
ain't saying he ain't smart at it. I'm just saying you got to be careful with him with that type of stuff.
This is the thing though. When you dealing with Polite, and niggas like Polite, you know what I'm saying? Cause the nigga smart as hell, you know what I'm saying? He like
yes, he is.
So but you gotta understand though, when a nigga that's smart and he can talk as well as he can talk, he can manipulate people very well. So you gotta put yourself in a position to get manipulated. Right. Not to say, because I just added like 2 and 2 together, like you were saying. There's too many people coming out. I ain't never dealt with them, so I don't know. All I know is I fuck with the information you putting out. Okay, that's one. I fuck with the information. Number 2, it's a whole bunch of people out here saying the same shit. Oh, he a scammer. Oh, he didn't give me. He didn't send I bought something from him. He didn't send it to me. I just hear that shit like maybe 100 times. Yeah, and once you hear that shit so much, okay, so you know all these motherfuckers ain't lying. So I know I'm not finna put no money in this nigga pocket. So if you put up some free shit where you giving us information, I tune in, I check it out. But if you talk about go to this website and buy this, oh hell no, because I done heard too much shit about you being this game motherfucker. And you know what I'm saying? Like he winning, you know what I'm saying? So if people saying that you scamming and I see you with money, maybe you are scamming, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And
then the people ain't getting the stuff that they buying from him. That's what makes it worse.
Nigga swift with them stocks, man.
Like he can get the info, put you on game about it, and then be like, yo, since you done got dang, I'm just using it as a hypothetical. He be like, yo, since I done got dang, help you get in on it, how about you invest? Let's just say you hit a big come up. Like let's say a new company coming up, he knew about it, put you on. You put 100.
It's a site called Fever. It's a site called Fever where a lot of people already be doing it, and he just got to set up where he do that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you be them.
Yeah, the way you doing when you start doing option trade, it's certain people that can get that they'll give you the plug on. They'll give you a good play to get in on.
Ain't that what Ain't that what Martha Stewart went to jail for though? Like, cause see, I just got started into the stock shit too. You know what I'm saying?
That real plug. No, she had that real.
What Martha?
Like she got a motherfucking bug told her to get her money out the shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They knew the stock was finna goddamn go blunt, finna go dead. So somebody told her, went dead, go get your money up out that bitch.
That's what happened to her. That's how she got caught up. The thing about it, if she would have just randomly pulled it out, and they realized that nobody tell her that, she wouldn't have got in trouble. But they traced it back to so many people that she worked with as far as dealing with her money, told her that. And like, oh, so you got insider information on how to do stock, huh? Yeah, we finna go ahead and hit your side of your head, go ahead and put you in jail for a little bit.
Like them boys from Enron. That was how that Enron thing went.
Boy, you remember that Enron?
The Enron.
Boy, they did them people so wrong with Enron. Yeah, a lot of people went to jail for it, but the main, I want to say 4 people didn't go to jail, but the people under them, like almost all of them went to jail.
Oh, y'all heard Madoff got out.
Madoff? Yeah, I thought he was dead too. No, I said I thought he was because I heard. Oh, he dead. Damn, never mind then.
Hey, if he ain't dead, then the man must be doing some of that MK Ultra shit.
Boy, what you know about the MK Ultra? What you know about that? Yeah, I know about that too.
That shit, I wouldn't put that past him too. I wouldn't put that past nobody, that MK Ultra shit, but I think niggas take that shit too far though. You know what I'm saying? They do it like they do a religion and shit. Oh, we've been lied to, so that means the earth is flat. No, slow down, buddy. It's like just cause some people might be in disguise don't mean that everybody out here in disguise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what make it hard.
Yeah, nigga told me that Justin Bieber and The Weeknd was the same person. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay.
Nah, they're going too far, bro. They're going too far.
I can't have a conversation with a nigga.
Hey, Kweli. On that subject, just before we jump back into the main thing, if somebody would have told me that, I'm like, where's the proof? Because you done seen both of them in 2 different places at the same time. You seen them do that. I think they done made a song together or something like that. So how is that the same person?
Bro, when I tell you that's exactly what the fuck I said when I show you a video of them in the same place at the same time, what are you going to tell me then? And you know what this nigga told me? I can't make this shit up, bro. This nigga said, that's magic.
Bro. See, Kweli, it's folks like that. Look. Hold on. It's folks like that. Yo, it's folks like that that make people who come out with real information. Let's just call them conspiracy theories, just for people to understand. When you really drop information like that, you make it hard for them to put out the real information, to drop the real knowledge on what's actually going on, man.
For real.
Right. Conspiracy theories on wow.
Like, it's crazy. Because I used to be on that type of shit. Like when I first got into it, well, I should say right before, like a year before I started making YouTube videos, I wasn't originally gonna be talking about religion. I was gonna be talking about shit like that, like conspiracy theory shit. You know what I'm saying? But then I got into like if I'm gonna be on YouTube, I gotta know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So when I started actually doing the research, I realized a lot of this shit was bullshit. You know,
a lot of it is.
I had yeah. So he learned when I was learning how to do research. I realized that, you know, so okay, a lot of this shit I can't talk about because I don't know if it's really true or not. I just be speculating. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not really ain't trying to be speculating. You know what I mean? Oh, right. What if this and what if that? But with that MK Ultra shit, the only thing I could say that is true for sure is that they when I say they, I'm talking about the United States government. They do go out and pretend to be other people, and you know what I'm saying, they turn a woman into a man, they turn a man into a woman with a mask and a bunch of disguises and shit. Like they do that type of shit for all these different types of reasons. Yeah. They did shit like they went into another country in South America, I can't remember which country, but they killed the president or whatever the equivalent of the president in that country.
Prime Minister. You talking about like Venezuela?
Replaced them. Something like that. I can't remember which country, but they killed the motherfucker and replaced him with a nigga that looked like him. And you know what I'm saying? So that they could basically take over the resources in that country. And
yo, let me tell you 2 movies that put me on point with what you just said. The first X-Men movie, when Mystique turned into the president after the president died, and Mission Impossible 5. When they got the mask and had the voice box. Like, dude, they telling you in movies the stuff that they can do. That Mission Impossible, bro, I was like, they coming out with masks?
You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep on these books, because a lot of these movies start out as books. That's number one.
Yeah,
a lot of these books don't get made into movies. So it's like you said, they telling you what they can do. It's a book by Dan Brown, the nigga who wrote Da Vinci Code. It's called Deception.
Yeah.
And in that book, like in the first page, he says like it's like a little disclaimer. He said every piece of technology, the story is not true, but every piece of technology that's mentioned in this book is real technology that actually exists. And then when you read the story, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? This shit actually exists somewhere. You know, because it's like they got trucks that can drive up glaciers and shit like that. You know, cameras, drones the size of mosquitoes and shit. And this was before we even knew what drones was. So
yeah, they was doing that back in like the early 2000s, man. They was already dropping that info out. So the first ones that I heard about were the ones that look like flies. Then the second ones I heard about were the ones that look like mosquitoes.
Yeah, see, I heard about the MK Ultra shit through Bill Cooper's book, The Pale Horse. He talked about that shit.
Yo, let me tell y'all something that really started tripping me out, that made me really, really started locking in on the MK Ultra stuff or clones or whatever. It was somebody on YouTube. They had a video, like a compilation of videos where they was. I'm just gonna use these people as an example because they're in the video. It was like showing the dudes that do the announcing, like in basketball games, like Shaq, Charles Barkley, and the other 2 or 3 dudes. One of them was Desmond Howard. They showed a fan that was sitting in the stands that had his camera focused on Desmond. Like Desmond was kind of leaned over. Somebody was messing with the back of his neck, not fixing his collar, but like messing with the back of his neck, like a machine, like a robot or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were doing something to him, and then they walked off. Next thing you know, you started seeing him. He was like in a pause type state, and then he started talking like he's talking to the camera, but the fan was in the stands, so you can't hear what he's saying. Another one they was doing college game day. Yeah, Shaq did it too. And another crazy thing was they did it with Eminem. Eminem was at a game day taping. And they talking to him. He's not even focusing on them. It's like he's stuck in a pose, but he's looking at the ground. And they kept talking to him. It was like they started kind of laughing, trying to joke and play it off, so it wouldn't cause too much attention. And I remember seeing that live. So at that point in time, but you know, talking about Eminem the rapper. Eminem the rapper.
You know what causes MK Ultra though? Is that goddamn getting shot. No, MK Ultra and CERN. MK Ultra and CERN are 2 different things. MK Ultra is dealing with a personality.
I thought CERN was
that's the atom collider.
CERN is a hadron. Yeah, CERN is a hadron collider where they get 2 atoms and they spin them around and they
saying what they doing too though. They saying what they doing is they opening portals and going back in time, and it's glitching. They still what they saying in the quantum world, they be saying that we living in a simulation. You know what I'm saying? That aspect of MK Ultra, you know what I'm saying? Now they be saying like a military type aspect, what you say, you know what I'm saying? Where they saying like remote viewing, but when they talking about that shit that's glitching and he don't say life is like a box of chocolates no more on what his name is, the dude, the movie was Forrest Gump. That's one of the biggest ones that they be showing. That's one of the biggest MK Ultra things that they be showing. But what they saying is we living in a simulation and that they opening up a portal through that CERN. You know what I'm saying? And going.
I heard that shit before, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they could prove it though, because I looked into that shit and I ain't find no like real evidence behind that whole portal stuff. It just seemed like basically because it's too. First of all, for me to believe that stuff, it's kind of far fetched because there's so many different countries working together. And one thing I know is they ain't gonna be able to keep no secrets that well. You know what I'm saying? With all them different, because they don't even speak.
Yeah, they will. When you talking quantum physics, they're like we can't figure. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother language. That's a whole nother.
But that's the thing, though. Because science is universal. It's the language that unites us. Like 2 + 2 is gonna be 4 in Chinese and in English or whatever. So
I look at it like when I look at see, I'm a barber. Like when we outside of certain fields of study, it limits us on how far we can go as far as looking into whatever it is that we looking into. Like as me as a barber, like when I see a bump on somebody, all I see is a bump. I think it's a hair bump. But when a doctor see it, he see cancer. You know what I'm saying? Just like when I see a rock on the ground, all I see is a rock. But when a geologist see it, he can tell you where it come from, how long it been there, where, you know what I'm saying, what the name of it is. And same thing apply to it with the quantum physics, man. We see who I don't know nobody that can answer like like we see E = MC². I don't know nobody who can figure it out. I can't call up now one of my homies or nobody that I know that can do formulas like that. That can, you know what I'm saying? So when we talk about quantum level, you know what I'm saying, man? Like that is light years.
You ever seen you seen the movie the Mandela Effect?
I was just about to say that. I had a call I had to take, but I just about to say that.
Not the movie. I just know about the Mandela Effect and MK Ultra, and you know what I'm saying, what they were saying about it. That's all I was saying, and how it got what it was doing.
That's basically what the movie is about. Basically the Mandela Effect in the movie is about it, though. But the movie do a good job at explaining it. You know what I'm saying? So like if you never heard of it and you watch the movie, you'll get it. You know,
are y'all familiar with D-Wave? Are y'all familiar with the D-Wave computers?
I heard of them.
That deal with CERN.
No, I heard about it, and I heard about you know the Hindu god they got in front of the CERN temple. I mean not CERN temple, but the CERN entrance, right?
I seen what his name? He had a picture of it. I was watching Killer Priest podcast the other day, and I seen Kahuna on there. He had a picture of what you talking about right now. My first time I haven't ever seen it. They were like some people was out there. He actually showed a slide where it looked like they did like a little ceremony around.
Yeah, they did. When they opened it, when they were getting ready to open it up, like the whole staff and everything did a dance and ceremony in front of it.
Yeah, he showed that slide. I had never seen that. I mean, I hadn't really been keeping up with it because I was on it for a minute. I actually got up on it good through Brother Panic, man. Brother Panic broke that shit down good.
Yeah.
And looked at what the actual quantum physicists was saying, and I was like, oh man, he had it broke it down in layman's terms good. Cause listening to them and catching a couple of TED talks on, I was like, yo, this out my league. Like, but you know what I'm saying? I was just trying to figure it out because I knew it had to do with the MK Ultra and the Mandela Effect and you know what I'm saying? So-called remote.
Yeah, man.
What they doing?
Yeah. The crazy thing about I'm about to say the crazy thing about CERN is what they trying to do. They're trying to create a mini black hole, but at the same time, they bring it from what some people are saying. Yeah, they bringing stuff from other dimensions over here. And it's like the movie, the show, Stranger Things. In a sense, Stranger Things is talking about exactly what CERN is doing. And people taking Stranger Things as just a show. No, these folks out here doing stuff that they shouldn't even be doing right now. So if something coming through, like, have y'all seen a movie called The Mist?
I haven't seen it.
All right, I'm just gonna make this real quick.
Yeah, I seen that on. Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, I seen.
Yeah, in a sense, that's what the myth is about. They done messed around and opened up a hole. Some creatures or whatever done came through and started knocking people off. So now the military is trying to fight them back and put them back in the portal or whatnot. These folks around here messing with this type of stuff and they ain't trying to explain it to other people because you figure regular people ain't gonna understand it.
When we talk about all these shows and stuff, it's another show that tripped me the fuck out too. That like, it just gives you one of them unfalsifiable what ifs, but it's counterpart. You know what I'm saying? It's on.
I heard about that.
Yeah, basically, so they did some type of experiment and it created a portal to a parallel universe And in the other universe, it was identical to this one. But you know what I'm saying, from that moment, everything that happened, like if one thing happened different than in this universe that didn't happen in the other universe, it'll cause a chain reaction that'll make the universes be totally different, even though it was just a small event. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
In the one universe, our universe would have caused a pandemic in their universe. So when the main character, he went to the other universe, and everybody had on a mask and shit. So that was like, damn, that shit crazy. And then I looked at when it came out. It came out like the year before the coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what the fuck? How they have a TV show that come out where everybody in the parallel universe got a mask on, and now we run around, everybody got a mask on and shit.
Got a fucking mask.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I ain't saying nothing is nothing. I'm just saying that shit weird to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It is right now, man. That's what
they're gone.
Go ahead.
No, I was just about to say on the topic, man. That religious stuff be messing people's heads up real bad, yo.
Oh yeah.
Cause it's like, if you look at the Muslims, they be treating they women semi-decent. I say that. But at the same time, if you a female and you get caught by yourself with another dude, and let's just say somebody brother see you, the female is in trouble, not the dude.
Yeah, and then it depends on like the kind of Muslim you is, cause I remember they was doing the mutilations on them girls, the ones that was over here. Some of them they're like catch them trying to be too American. Lies their face up, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
They were doing that heavy one time.
Shoot, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, you just ain't hearing about it.
You know, I put them straight, but like catch you being too American. Yeah, man, I agree with you, though, man.
Yeah, man, because I used to deal with that type of stuff, man, and some of the people that I knew, not even really knew, like, on a personal level, yeah, they was with that. And then it was like at one time, it was some years ago, like 04, 05, maybe even 06, it was a homosexual couple walking around in Dubai. They stoned them dudes to death. Like, they don't play that homosexual stuff, but the crazy thing about it is they do homosexual acts themselves.
They justify their shit.
Yeah, because it's like it's a Vice video I was looking at, and it was talking about how the American, like the Marines and Army, was going over there to teach the Afghan National Army how to goddamn defend themselves from the Taliban, and the police force was like molesting the little boys in the village and stuff. And if they weren't with it, someone was getting killed, someone was getting hurt. I'm like, but y'all Muslims and y'all doing it to little boys. But you heavily into Allah, like you really think Allah would approve of that? And then if you look at Christianity, the way Kweli was breaking it down, they doing little kids like that too. So what's the point in following religion if you doing the innocent like that?
And Jewish,
so basically all you gotta do is, oh boy, they be sucking on little boys like that, boy.
Yeah, they do oral circumcision.
Yeah.
They say that's what the symbol of the cross is, because, you know, like, okay, you got the Ankh, which is supposed to be the symbol of the phallus, and the woman's fallopian tubes, and the symbol of life, right? So the cross is two phalluses. Sword fighting.
Wow.
So that's what they say is supposed to be.
Yo, they say the Greeks,
bruh. One thing folks don't want to admit, man, the Greeks were really like that, bruh.
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's where all this shit come from too.
Because look, if y'all seen the movie, look, this is gonna tie into another movie. If y'all seen the movie Alexander, they was celebrating Saturnalia. Alexander was walking through the hallway, walking to the celebration hall or whatever, and his dad was named Alexander too. He was in about to take one of the little young dudes, you know, take him from the bed. And he stopped him from doing it. And his dad backhanded him. And the next day, his dad died. But during his crusade, well, I call it a crusade, even though he was going across the country trying to knock people off and pull them into his culture or whatnot. He went to India and ended up getting with this queen. And the queen was like, look, we don't have an army to fight y'all. And we ain't even trying to fight. He was like, all right, bet, how about we bring y'all into our culture and teach y'all what we know, you teach us what we know, and then y'all just be a part of us as I go on and continue conquering stuff. She was like, all right, cool. In order for us to make this work, we got to get married. He was like, all right, bet. So they get married. But while they doing the little ceremonial thing for the marriage, one of the dudes that was in the dancing, he looked real feminine. So Alexander the Great is looking at this dude, and he looking at him, and she see them doing that. So she get upset and she leave. So like a couple things later, you catch the dude and Alexander in the chamber, in the bedroom and whatnot, and she coming in, she's trying to kill him. But he's trying to explain to her, like, look, this is what my people do. I'm like, we get with boys and girls. And she was like, this ain't what we do. We ain't doing it. If he like that, he like that. We don't discriminate against him or nothing like that, but that ain't what we doing. I was like, man, that's so goddamn crazy. They showing you what these folk like, and y'all sitting up here putting these Greeks on a goddamn pedestal.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and the Romans too. Like I said, we still got our months named after the months that they came up with in Rome.
Yeah,
but they claim they don't believe in Romulus stuff. But we still January, February, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, and all the fraternities and stuff, those are Greek associations and all that stuff. So it's crazy, man. It's like the stuff that we do and the way that it's like, I look at it as, I call it a barometer for the lock that they have on the minds of the people. So they know when the lock on the minds is dwindling, because we won't be doing the same stupid shit that we was doing before, like celebrating Christmas and using silent letters in our language. They don't make no sense. Like, it don't make no sense for there to be a C and a K if they make the same sound. One of the motherfuckers can get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? If a C and a S, it make it. Cause, hold on, let's be for real though. Let's be real now. We gonna take it slow for the people. We're gonna take it slow for the people. What is the purpose of a letter? Anybody? What's the purpose of a letter? Like an alphabet.
I guess the form a word. That's the only way I come up with.
To form the language so people can communicate.
I mean, just the letter, like okay, the letter B.
Oh, the individual letter. Individual letter.
Yeah. What does the letter do? What is its function?
I really can't answer that.
To make a sound.
My nigga, to make a sound, right? That's what a letter is. That's what it does. So please, somebody right now tell me, what the fuck is a silent letter? The whole point.
Dude, I used to wonder that when I was young, like real talk.
The whole point of a letter is to make a sound.
Right.
So how the hell are you telling me there's a such thing as a silent letter? But the reason why they got such things like that is because they want to see just how much bullshit the people will accept. We're gonna teach your kids this bullshit, and when you stop teaching them this bullshit, we'll know, okay, they waking up. So people, stop teaching your kids this bullshit, man. Ain't no fucking silent letters. It can't be. A letter makes no sound by definition. This is what it does. You know what I'm saying? So shit like that, man. We celebrate Christmas, and all we doing is celebrating the winter solstice. We use silent letters, like, and we confuse the kids, like, you know what I'm saying? It's frustrating trying to teach a kid how to read, and you got to tell them that the rules. Okay, this is the rule: I before E except after C. But then you try to tell them how to spell weird. And they try to put that I before they E, and you go, nah, not in this word. This is different. And they say, why? And you say, just because. And okay, all right, there.
Exactly.
You're conditioning your kid to accept bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So then when we grow up,
exactly.
When we grow up, they give us the bullshit. They tell us, look, they give us the bullshit like, okay, you're gonna go to work, and we're gonna take
we're gonna take a percentage of your money, and we ain't gonna tell you what we spending it on or what we doing with it or nothing. We just gonna snatch it, and if you don't pay it, we're gonna take all your money and we're gonna lock you up for a couple years. You know, we get the bullshit like that, and we just go okay because we've been conditioned our whole life to accept bullshit. But if we was not conditioned and we was woke, we would be like, wait a minute, why am I giving you a piece of my money?
Right.
The fuck, no taxation without representation, nigga. What?
For real.
The only reason we pay income tax is because they were supposed to be rebuilding the country after the Civil War. Hello, this motherfucker look rebuilt to me. So why we still paying income tax? Because we ain't woke. And we still using silent letters, and we still celebrating Christmas, and we still believing in Marys and all that bullshit. But look, man,
go ahead.
We're gonna close out in a few minutes, man. Y'all go ahead and get y'all last words in.
Hey, yo, I'm going to say something right quick so y'all can finish and I'm going to jump off. Speaking on silent letters, like the word knife, you try to teach kindergarten or maybe up to second grade how to spell knife. They're going to spell knife N-I-F-E. But you tell them it's wrong because there's a K in there. The child asks, why is there a K? Because the K is silent. So why does a silent letter need to be in the word knife? Now the child is confused. The teacher don't really know how to break it down and explain it because the language is so jacked up, you can't even break down something that simple to a child. Like, why do you need to have a silent letter in a word that you normally use on an everyday, well, not every day, but every other day basis.
And they tell you, you know what I'm saying, sound it out. This is how you're supposed to learn how to read. Sound it out. You see the word and the sound it's supposed to make. So y'all see that K, and I'm gonna make the K sound. But when you do what they told you to do, and you sound it out, you get the wrong answer. Yeah. So it can
Exactly.
to say, okay, I can't do what I'm supposed to do to get the right answer. I got to do what they told me to do. And then when I ask why, they say, oh, because they did it like that 100 years ago, and so we're gonna do it like that now. And that's why we celebrate Christmas, and that's why we got silent letters. It's as simple as that.
Hell yeah. But y'all have a good one, man. Y'all be easy. Try to jump on that thing next time.
All right. For sure, man. I appreciate y'all boys calling in, man.
All right, that what's up, folks.
All right, and holla at y'all next week, man. Dylan, don't be scared so much next time. Mike Fox, yes, this is the Atheist Church Live, where we read a different book every week instead of the same book. Man, so peace and black power to all the people out there. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week at the same time.